Do ghosts wander the halls of the White House? There have been many reported sightings of ghosts in the White House over the years, but perhaps the most popular ghost to see is that of the former president, Abraham Lincoln. And President Lincoln's brushes with the paranormal predated his death by several years. Shortly after his election in November of 1860, Lincoln had a dream in which he saw himself in the mirror and he had a double reflection. One reflection was a complete, clear image, while the other one was faded, barely visible. His superstitious wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, interpreted this to mean that the president would serve his full first term, but not complete his second, meaning he would die in office. And that was the case. Early in 1865, several months before the president was assassinated, Lincoln told his friend, Ward Hill Lamon, about a disturbing dream that he had. Mr. Lamon wrote it down. The president said, "About 10 days ago, I retired very late. I soon began to dream. There seemed to be a death-like stillness about me. Then I heard subdued sobs, as if a number of people were weeping. I thought I left my bed and wandered downstairs. I arrived at the East Room. Before me was a catafalque, on which rested a corpse wrapped in funeral vestments. Around it were stationed soldiers who were acting as guards, and there was a throng of people, some gazing mournfully upon the corpse, whose face was covered, others weeping pitifully. 'Who is dead in the White House?' I demanded of one of the soldiers. 'The president,' was his answer. 'He was killed by an assassin.'" Even famous and powerful dignitaries visiting the White House have reported to see Lincoln's ghost. During World War II, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands was staying as a guest in the White House and sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom. One night in 1942, the Queen heard a knock at the door. She got out of bed because if anybody is knocking on the Queen's door in the middle of the night, it must be something important. She answered the door, and to her astonishment, she saw President Lincoln wearing his top hat, and she immediately fainted at the sight. When she came to, the apparition had disappeared. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the UK during World War II, also claimed to have seen Lincoln's ghost. Churchill had just gotten out of the bathtub, still smoking his cigar, and he was not yet dressed when he saw the apparition of Lincoln sitting in a chair. And Churchill claimed that he kept his cool and calmly said, "Good evening, Mr. President. I see you have me at a disadvantage." Then Mr. Lincoln smiled and nodded and disappeared, just fading away until he was completely gone. Now, it's one thing for Joe Schmo from Youngstown, Ohio to claim to have seen the ghost of Lincoln, but famous, powerful, and respected dignitaries like the Queen of the Netherlands and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, well, that kind of testimony is a little bit more difficult to simply disregard as a fancy tale. So, does the spirit of Abraham Lincoln still wander the White House? I don't know. Maybe one of these days you will have the opportunity to go there and find out for yourself. Happy Halloween.